So first things first, in the exploring electrostatics, I have put in the summaries for the laboratories inside each of the labs. So those are there. I have included in the summer 2025, I've added those guides and powers, and then I've added some study notes for the electric fields in flux, and then I added all of the videos as well, and the videos also have the comments on them in on YouTube. So that gets us through chapter 15. We're starting chapter 16 tonight, but I did want to mention a couple of things. One is in the grade book. You should now see some of the homeworks that are coming up with the due dates. So that should help some folks trying to keep track of due dates. Because I am aware that some of you are in Canvas, and Canvas handles things a little bit differently than Blackboard, and Blackboard handles things differently than Moodle, handles things differently than D2L. It's kind of like what messaging app you want. I am on about 10 different messaging apps, depending on what colleagues I work with. And so it's just something that we got to work with, being able to deal with our various learning management systems. So those are in. I did review everyone's weekly evaluations last week. Some folks had some great accomplishments, some good aha moments. But I kept seeing over and over again, wasn't sure what I was supposed to do for the simple harmonic motion PDF. Well, we went through it a couple of times, and basically what I was after is when you wrote your simple harmonic motion for your equation of motion, you had your A cosine 2 pi times the frequency times time. And you were supposed to give me estimates for your amplitude, figure out your frequency, and plug in a number. It wasn't supposed to be any harder than that. So I think what happens, and I see this all the time in physics, we do more physics in our head than we'll ever be able to write down. And people say, well, this can't possibly be that simple. That's not what she's after, because that's so simple. Well, yeah, that's what I was after. I was after that. So what I see happen over and over again is that folks want to make it harder than it is. And it's not intended to be that way. It's not a trick question. It's just that I see it happen all the time. And I see it happen all the time on a test, that you're working the test and you'll change from the right answer to the wrong answer because you think, well, it just can't be that way. This is the same thing that you see with Gauss's law. Yeah, it starts from this really mucky and foggy conceptual idea, but when you really get down to it, you look at what's on the inside of the surface, you calculate the net charge, and you got it done. So it really works fairly simply, but it starts from a very fuzzy, hazy concept. So in the announcement that I sent out to folks today, I gave you some simple tips. One is, if you have a question, email me, ask a question. I try to get on several times throughout the day to answer questions and try to help. I try to get into WebAssign to be able to see if you have questions in WebAssign. So really, the quicker you ask a question, the easier it is to address it and the less confused and frustrated you get. So please don't wait till the last minute and work on that. So that was just an update, because that was a question that had come up. So now we're starting to get to the good stuff in electricity. And we're starting electrical energy and capacitance. And I did get a good opportunity today to open up this folder and have this folder sorted out to make it a lot easier for folks. Right now in assignments, you don't have assignments listed. I will put the week 3 assignments in that folder. I just haven't gotten to that yet. But I know several of you are already working on the homework and are trying to get ahead and keep those going, particularly since it's a holiday weekend, want to get things in there. So what I have here is I have given you a study guide for electrical potential. I have given you these two lectures are the lectures I gave this spring, and I think they're pretty good ones. I go into great detail there, so those are really good lectures. This is a solution to an electrical potential problem. This is a guide for calculating equivalent capacitance for the equivalent capacitance problems. This is a PDF of the PowerPoint that we're about to do, because that's how I'm gonna work this chapter, is I'm gonna give you an overview PowerPoint, and you have all the slides in that PDF. And then tomorrow we'll work some problems and we'll step through and work those problems. But I want to give you a chance to actually see those. And then these are a set of study notes that were built up off of the slides that I'm going to show you tonight. So that's what we have here, and that should get you through chapter 16. Now, as per everything, I got lots and lots of extra helps. So in the examples and supplemental videos, I have a deriving equivalent capacitance and example problems. I have some older items here related to defining electrical potential. I've got more example problems. I've got determining the electrical potential at P. I've got the organic tutor. If it doesn't make sense how I'm doing it, I've got the organic tutor in there. I have some fun things, because one of the things we talk about are the surfaces of objects. And so why does the charge gather at the sharp point? So that one's in there. Conductors in electrostatic equilibrium, why lightning rods work, charge at sharp points. So this one is also a nice set of examples for both electric fields and forces that are to help you prep up for the test, because we will be having a test over electric fields and forces and electrical potential. But this gives you some example problems to work with as well. But again, these are the ones I kind of expect you to walk through. These are there for helps if you're trying to find some solutions to get those taken care of. So as you can see, I did a lot of work trying to get this particular module consolidated down to really help people find things and get things in there. So any questions about where things are? I will be adding more into the grade book. I did get through the PDF of the of your simple harmonic motion. I got all of those graded. I looked through and sent notes if I had trouble reading somebody's test. I haven't graded it, but I made sure I went through and I could open up everybody's tests, because I'm probably going to be grading those while I'm driving across Kansas over the weekend. So that's where those things are there. So questions about where things are, what's due, anything like that?